Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to our Facebook live feed. We are going to do a keeper talk with our king Vulture, who our curator here has out. We're just waiting for her to make an appearance. She's slowly making her way over here and bypassing your playground, but that's okay. So we have this playground here. This is a bird that we take on walks very frequently, and her trainer started noticing her doing all kinds of cool things, balancing on logs, walking on them like little tight ropes, and exploring a lot. And so we came up with this idea to make a simulation of those walks in a more confined area so people could actually watch her on these walks, because these were happening, a lot of behind the scenes things that were going on. And so we created this makeshift playground. So this is actually a prototype. We're hoping to have something similar, hopefully more new and improved at our new facility at Quest, which we're very excited about. So vultures are super smart. Enrichment is great for them because they can really use that mental stimulation for them. So they have the learning capacity of a human 4-year-old. So that is super cool. They're a lot of fun to train and work with, and they can definitely use a lot of enrichment activities. So that can be anything like exploring new areas, coming out, going on for walks. It can be things that we put in their enclosures. It can be giving them a new diet to try. It can be all kinds of different stuff. And what we're trying to do is stimulate natural behaviors. So this stimulates a lot of behaviors of being on the ground, hopping around, having your wings out to balance, even sunning, because there are some nice rays of sun that pop through the trees over here. So they're super cool to see. We have some lovely visitors on our trail today who are here watching, which is super awesome. We're super glad to be open.
Yeah, we give her variety, so every day we feed them something different. Try to vary it as much as possible.
So how many grams do you feed her a day?
I think it's about 200 grams.
200, so about 8 ounces. That's quite a bit.
She usually eats once a day.
What does she weigh?
I can't remember. Do you have a ballpark?
She weighs, so we have a question, how much does she weigh? Isn't it in
Maybe like
3,000 grams is what I was thinking of. So we weigh out our birds and their food, their diets in grams. That is just the metric that we use here.
Yeah, so she's trained to hop up on a scale so we can monitor her weight and health.
So that's about 7 pounds, I think, about 3,000 grams.
Yeah.
You're a lot better at that conversion than I am. So
2.2 pounds per kilogram. So
perfect, great.
3 times 2.2.
We should have you just follow us around and give us that conversion throughout the day, because it's not a good conversion for us. So he said it's about 7 pounds. So these guys are bigger birds. Birds are known to be lightweight. They do have hollow bones. They don't have teeth, which is super cool. They don't need it. They have these sharp beaks that they can gobble their food up with. And they also don't have bladders. So they're very lightweight. So 7 pounds actually is pretty heavy. And so you'll find a lot of heavier birds living in areas that have a lot of cliffs, or areas where they can dive down. They can glide on thermals, which is very energy efficient. There's not a lot of flapping that has to go on. And so they're just very efficient overall. Kristen here, our curator, has an amazing relationship with this bird. So the way we train is using positive reinforcement strategies. So our guests here are asking about what she's getting fed today, and she's getting mouse or rat today, Kristen?
Yeah.
Mouse or rat. Mises Pieces is on the menu. And so we cut up our food into little pieces, and we use it as a tool in our training. So you'll notice Kristen doing some things like tapping on perches, maybe just pointing to them, walking somewhere. And so she's asking her to do certain behaviors. Once she does that behavior that she's looking for, she will actually give her a piece of food. And so our goal is to hopefully reinforce that behavior to happen again. So we can use that in so many different ways in their life. So doing things like this, like keeper talks, so she'll come out voluntarily to go on walks. So great enrichment for our guests, I hope. Also can use it for training strategies, getting weights on our birds, having them come down to a scale. I mean, there really are different, so many different aspects on how we can train our birds and the ways we can use them here. So the reason I talk about that a lot is because usually we get the question, why doesn't she fly away? So that relationship, that trust building, also the consistency of coming out here and training with her on these perches is really what helps her stay here. So this is a very reinforcing area because she comes out here a lot. There are a lot of people to look at. So as much as people like looking at our birds, they definitely seem to be interested in watching the people as well, based on their behavior.
How old is this bird, do you know? Do you estimate?
How old is she? Is she in her 20s? Yeah, wow. She's in her 20s.
What's her lifespan normally in
So
captivity?
Double their lifespan in captivity by veterinary care whenever they get sick. We protect them from predators, so many things. So
hi guys, how are you?
probably no age right now.
This is our king vulture that our trainer just has out, taking her on a little walk on her playground.
Are we okay standing here?
Yeah, you guys are great there.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for sticking around. All right, our curator is taking her home. Our king vulture is saying that she'd like to go back at this point, so we're gonna listen and take her back. When she goes in there, I might be able to capture some really cool behaviors that she might do when she goes in. She goes right in. Oh, cool. All right, so we're gonna watch this behavior that Kristen's been working on. Hopefully I'm not too much of a distraction. Hi, McKenna.
Yeah, she's been a little hesitant about going in. She's had some camel crickets inside, so she always gets a little spooked by insects. So just trying to make her room like really positive, happy place. Perch.
So another thing we can train our birds for is shifting. So that's very helpful when we're cleaning their habitats. If there was an emergency situation where we needed to recall her, we can use things like rooms, we can use kennels to transport them. This is also really great for if there was a really bad, storm or something and we felt the need to put her in there. We have it to help us. And so the fact that we can have our birds voluntarily do these things makes our lives a lot easier, makes their lives a lot more positive. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
Has she been injured in some way?
She hasn't. No, she's here for education.
Okay, right. Most of the birds that are here have been injured in some
We have
fashion?
a mix. There are some that have been rehabilitated and some that do not have any injuries.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just filming our Facebook live stream, so feel free to ask questions. Don't feel awkward.
What's that yellow thing on
The little thing on her, so that's called a caruncle. There are a couple of reasons scientists think that they have them, one of which is mate selection. So that's how they basically can tell if another vulture has really healthy things about them, really healthy traits, that they're doing really well.
A healthy caruncle.
A healthy caruncle, yeah.
Sort
So like
if it's damaged in some way, it may
yeah, so maybe the color is a little different. Maybe it's really dry or something like that. So that could be a really great way for the birds to just perceive whether there are good traits to be passed on based on the health. I'm sure that's not the only thing that they use. Maybe there's something with their coloration. I'm not sure. There's also another thought that maybe it helps to clean off their beak a little bit, but I don't think any other vultures that have that. So it's very interesting. So the main thought is for mate selection. So I think she might be done with her training session. She's just picking up little scraps on the ground. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today. We will see you next week.
Bye, guys.